All right, in Blackboard here, I'm going to go over to classes. Oop. And then project 10. And there is furniture, project 10 furniture plan with layers, and it's PDF. And if you open it, it will give you this plan, and we'll talk about this plan in just a minute. And what it's doing is it's showing all the systems furniture and office furniture in here. And in addition, there is a folder here called Project 10 Furniture. And inside there is a whole passel of furniture here. And what you need to do is you need to copy this to your 2D Blocks Office folder. So I'll just take one of these, and on what I do is I right click on the drawing file, and then I save link as. And then what I did was I create, so I've got my CAD folder here, and then my 2D blocks, and then for whatever reason, I created a Project 10 blocks folder. And you could do that if you'd like, or you can just go over to 2D blocks and then Office, and then save that file in that folder right there. So these are all of them I've got here. It's up to you how you'd like to do it. So I'm not going to save it because I already have it saved. So I'm just going to hit cancel. So what you do want to do is copy all of these to someplace on your hard drive or on your jump drive in your 2D blocks folder, so that you can access them easily, because we're going to be using these all of these blocks today. In addition, there is an Office Project Furniture Examples PDF file, and there is a Project 10 Furniture Blocks PDF. So let me show you those right now. So I'm just going to take this off for the moment. And the Furniture Blocks is a PDF. It looks like this. And all this is just a diagram that shows all of the blocks that we're going to be using. Not all, but most of the blocks, most of the systems furniture blocks that we're going to be using today, and gives you the name of them, so that you can know what the heck what is when you're inserting. And then the other is just some examples, and let me just kind of show you these. So this is a cool little independent chair, really. So you can do sort of hoteling or small office independent work here. And it's called a Brody chair, and it's created by Steelcase. And actually, you can go to steelcase.com, or you can just Google Brody chairs and get all kinds of imagery from it. And then this is some systems furniture here, 3 workstations. They're kind of ganged together. And you can see between each one is just this privacy panel, I'll call, for better word. And then behind it are some workstation panels back here. And just some other stuff. So
Paul, can I ask a quick question about the downloads?
Yeah.
Are these the same downloads that we or the same furniture blocks that we downloaded for AutoCAD 1? Under Office, when I clicked in there, I saw there was a lot of the same furniture and something that said Project 10.
Oh, well, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Just so we're not downloading double.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It may already be uploaded for you. But if it's not, you know where to find it. If there's something that is not in that folder, then it should be, you should be able to download it there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is just these are called away spaces by this is a Steelcase product, and a pre-manufactured tiny little offices, tiny. You can see there's just room for 2 people here, and it's quick little conferencing, or if you need to make a private phone call or meet one-on-one with somebody. And these are like pre-made units that you can drop in on your floor plan anywhere that you like, move them around. This is some lounge seating here. This is just to give you an idea, that more of the lounge seating, just to give you an idea of what we're inserting into this project. This is a teleconferencing area here. More of that. So there's dual screens here, and I'm sure there's cameras up here. So I think there's a camera there and there. So, people that you're teleconferencing with can see you. So, all right. So let's look at this. And
Wow, gone of the days of cubicles.
oh, I know. Well, no, they're still around, and we have them on this project too, right here. But yeah, the sort of the next gen for office or systems furniture is really this open office type of stuff, where that is flexible and movable, and you can group and conference with people just by moving around. And this is relatively traditional, but yeah, there's
But
crazy.
the cubicles are low. They look low compared to what they used to be.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
dating myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I've worked in offices that have had 6-foot high
Yeah, me too.
workstations, and you were like literally in a box. But yeah, those days are long gone.
You had your own coat closet, everything.
Yeah. So, all right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be inserting a lot of this furniture. We'll start with the systems furniture out in the middle, and then I'll start to put in some furniture around the perimeter. I'm not going to do all of it because I think once I start getting it in, you'll get the idea of what's going on. And then I have on the furniture 2 layer, I have some stuff here in cyan, like the reception desk here, and some millwork in these rooms here. And we're looking at that more as millwork or built-in type furniture rather than furniture that you can move around. So that's why it's going on the cyan layer. So I'm going to move this over to the side so that I can see it over here. And all right, and now I'm going to start in. So I already have, I have my file open here. It's my project 10B interior partitions file. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a save as, just because I like to keep regular iterations of my projects as I'm moving along. It just helps me keep organized in case a disaster happens or my client makes some changes. So I'm going to do a save as, and I'm right in my right folder here, and I'm going to call this 10C, and I'm gonna rename it furniture. All right. So now I am working on my new furniture layer, and the first thing I want to do is look at my tabs down here. So I have my my building plan, and then I have my partition plan, and now I'm going to create a new tab for furniture. So I will right click on my furniture plan, and I will move or copy. We're going to copy. I'll create a copy, and I'm going to move that copy to the end of my layouts here. I'll just hit OK. And there it is. My new layout is called Partition Plan 2 because AutoCAD doesn't know what I want to call it. So I'm going to right click and rename it, and I'm going to call it furniture. And while I'm at it, before I forget, I'll just rename this here. Plan. And I will call this my sheet number 3. Okay, and I am ready to rock and roll here. So I could work in white model space if I want, but I'm going to work in regular model space here. And I will open up my blocks palette by just typing I for insert. And my blocks palette comes up here. And I am going to go and, yeah, I've got all of my, so my furniture is right here. So I'll be able to open this stuff up. And I'm going to start with this 6 benching group right here. There it is. And I want to have rotation selected down here, just because I'm going to want to rotate all of this furniture so it's on that wacky 27-degree angle. Wait, what is it? Yeah, 27 degrees here. So I have my polar tracking on, and I'm going to right click and insert. I think, or maybe I'll just pull it in. Well, no, I'll right click, insert. I'll pick up insertion point, and my thing is not cooperating. Insert. Oh, it's placing it at 0, 0, 0. Okay, all right. So what it's doing, because for some reason I unchecked insertion point here. I don't know why I did, and I just did it just now. So when that is not checked, AutoCAD is inserting it at X and Y and Z 0 coordinates. So right here, that's where it put them. So let me erase that, and let's just start that again. So this time I'll make sure that insertion point is checked. And I will also, because I want to do some rotating, I'm going to check that. And because I want to do rotating, I'm going to right click and then click insert. And now it will come in. And I'm just going to plop this in, and now I can rotate it. And what I want to do is just snap to that 27 degrees. And then there I've got my furniture. Okay, so this dark blue is not working for me. I don't like the color. I think I've said it before, so I'm going to change it. So I'm going to go to layer, and that furniture 1 layer, I'm going to change to color 11. It's actually the color that my office uses for furniture. So and it's pretty common. So either 10 or 11 are really the common colors for furniture. So now there we go. So, you know, you may be used to seeing it in the dark blue. So now you got to reacclimate to color 11. And when I go to my furniture plan, yes, there it is. And actually, when I go to my partition plan, while I'm here, I don't want to see the furniture on my partition plan. So I'm just going to double click in here, and I will click over here on in my layers palette on my home tab or home ribbon, this freeze button. I'll just click on it, and it's asking me because furniture 1 is the current layer. Do I want to freeze it? And yes, I do. So there. No, I don't. I won't be seeing it. Just double click off that. I'll just see partitions here, and in my base plan, I will do the same thing. So I'll just click on freeze. Yes. Okay. So don't see furniture, no furniture, furniture. Okay. So let me go back to model space here and let's start locating this stuff. Actually, the first thing that I did was I rotated this wrong. So I'm just gonna erase and start again. I'm gonna right click, insert, and I've got a piece of furniture that's right over here. And I'm gonna actually rotate it this way. So we want to make sure that you're rotating it the right way so I've got the desk seat here, and then this end piece here is to the right of it. And we're doing a lot of eyeballing today. I'm not gonna be too exact, and sometimes I'll just need to turn my tracking off here for a moment. So I'm getting close to this column, and then, but I won't be touching it. I just want to leave just a little bit of a gap there. So what happens is, when, generally speaking, you want to position furniture, and I'm sidebarring here for just a moment because I just want to let you know this. Generally, when you're placing furniture, you want to place it next to a wall or a column or something like that, so that you can bring power to it. So the column is a great way. They can go above the ceiling and then bring power down in the build bump out of the column. And then what they'll do is they will just provide cable that goes from there and then into the piece of furniture. And all you need to do is get it in one place, and then they're all ganged together, and they will all they'll all be powered. And that little piece of cable is in the industry called a whip, WHIP. So if ever you hear that terminology, where are we whipping this furniture? What that means is, where are we bringing that power into the furniture? And sometimes it's not near a column. So what you need to do is you need to either have a power pole that comes down from the ceiling, or you need to come up underneath and drill through the floor from the floor below. So that's just an expense that your client or your landlord's going to need to pay. So you, as a designer, just always need to be aware of, as you're placing furniture, am I powering this? And if I am, how am I powering it? Okay, so I got a piece of furniture there, and then I'm looking over my plan, and I have another one over here. So I'm just going to copy.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
What angle did you set that? What did you rotate the table to?
The 27 degrees, the same angle that that we've been doing for these walls.
Okay.
So, and I'll show you again when I bring the next piece in. So I've got a 4-station work group here. So let me go in here and see if I can find it. Hopefully, there it is. 4-station work group. And I will, I'm going to right click and insert. So it's coming in this way, and it's more or less over here. So I'm just going to click it, and then I'm going to rotate it. And I turned off my polar tracking, so I'm just going to turn that on. Once I have my polar tracking on, it will snap right to that, to one of those angles. So I'm just going to snap to that one. Beautiful. And then I'm going to move this so that this corner is more or less near here, and that works there. So we could actually whip down from this column, or we could whip down for this column over here. All right, and then I've got another one of those, so let's just copy. And again, I'm just kind of looking here, and this one is dead set in the middle right here of these 4 columns. So this one doesn't have a column to whip down to. So like I said, there would need to be either a power pole, either at one end or in the middle or at the other end, or we'd need to come up through the floor so it would have to be, the power would have to come from the floor below, and then they would have to drill through the floor up into the below the workstation. All right, and then I've got another one of these 6 benches. So I'm going to plop that one in more or less here, and this one rotates this way. Just again, I'm going to just kind of place it close, but not on. And what else I've got? I've got another one of those 4 stations. I should have just brought that into when I had the chance. And that will rotate that way. And again, I'm snapping to that polar tracking, so I got that 27-degree angle. And I'll just move this one. More or less like that. I think that that's good. Now over here, I've got a lateral file conference group. So let me find that. Lateral file plus 3 group, I guess. I think. No. Here it is. Lateral file conference group. Right click and insert, and put that here. And I want the seating near the column. And I'm eyeballing this, just kind of centering it between the workstations and getting it near that column. Gorgeous. And so let's put in these away spaces over here. So let me go over to that and see if I can find it. Oh, please let it be here. Am I not seeing it?
Could it be in the Project 10 furniture blocks?
Yes.
Like, well,
Oh.
no, in this folder, yeah, you have like it's like the third from the bottom. Is that like a group of furniture?
Yeah, no, that's miscellaneous.
Okay.
That's not it. Well, let's see. I might not have downloaded it for some weird reason. Or I may have downloaded it and I've accidentally put it in here. Touchdown, Brody. All right, well, let's see if I can find it. Please let me find it here. Let me go back to here. And so this is the 3 away spaces. File, Brody chair, 6 benching, 4 lounge, 4 lateral. Here it is, the 3 enclosed away space. So let me save as, and I just want to make sure I'm putting it in the right spot. 2D blocks, office, and there's a 1 on mine because I did download it someplace, but I don't know, so let's just save it here. Oh, I guess I did. I do have it. So, all right, well, let's replace it. There it is. I don't know why. I guess I had it, but I just wasn't seeing it. So let me just open that. right click, insert it, and let's rotate it into position. So I'm going to move this close to this column here, more or less here. What I'm doing is what I'm looking at is I want to keep it close to this column, but also I'm looking at the aisle space here, and I'm looking at the aisle space here, right? And I'm trying to center it, eyeballing it. Now, if I were doing construction documents, you betcha that this would be dimensioned here and here. So this would be located exactly. But for this space plan, we're gonna get it in the vicinity, and that'll be fine. So I want to make sure that I rotate it so that right here on the end is a doorway. There's a door right here. So I don't want that door over by the column because you won't be able to get in. So I'm going to, so I can't just copy. What I'd like to do is just copy this over here, all right? But no can do because it's over here. So what I can do is I can rotate this, or I will just reinsert it. So I'm gonna do that. So let me right click, insert. And this time I will rotate it this way so that that door is going to be on that aisle. So let's move this. I want them to both be in line. So I'm going to just move it so that they're kind of lined up, and then I will move it again so it's near. And I have my my polar tracking on, so I'm moving it in the right direction, and I'm moving it close to that column off to the right. So now I have an aisle here. So on this aisle, there are two doors. I can go into this workspace or into this workspace. And then these operate with sliding doors on the side. So they slide open, and you can come in over here and over here. We can't have the sliding door on the end because there's not enough space for the door to slide. It would slide into the aisle. So that's why there's just a regular swing door on the end of these units. So there are my two my two away space units located just lovely. And then over down here, I've got some touchdown lounge seating. So let's do the touchdown furniture. I'm going to right click and insert. And I'm going to again rotate it. And so now this touchdown furniture, what it is these are workstation panels running around three sides of it, and then there's seating on it, and then there's movable tables here, and then movable chairs so that you can group and convene and do what you want to do here. And we have two units that are back to back, but we don't want to have two sets of workstation panels back here. So they'll both share the same workstation panel. So what I can do is I can insert another one, but I'm going to mirror this. And what I'll do is I'll use the midpoint of this workstation, this corner panel here. I'll just use the midpoint of that right there, and then just come over just along my O tracking line here someplace, and erase source objects. No. And now, well, that didn't work. I didn't do that correctly. So let's do that again. I'm typing in mirror. I will go from the midpoint. There it is. And if this doesn't work the second time, then what I will do is I will copy it and then place it in. And then there I'll just go perpendicular, and hopefully this will work perfectly. Yes. So now those these touchdown spaces, they both of them share this panel back here. That's just exactly what we want. What we don't want is that location. So let me move both of them so that they're close to this column here. So if we want, we want to bring power, maybe there's power in the panel, maybe there's no power, but if there is, we can whip in from that column. All right, that's lovely. And now let's pop in the Brody chair. So I have some Brody chairs over here, and let me see if I can find those. Yes, there they are. And this one I'm just going to drag in because we're not going to rotate it. So I've got a set of 4 of them, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to center them on this glass pan, this piece of glass here, and then I'll do another 4 centered over on this one here. So I'm going to move this over. So this chair's got like it's a high piece that's running around the perimeter here, and then this is the chair, and then there is like in the school, like when you were in school, that you've got like it's on an arm, and then this is just sort of a table here, or a work surface that can flip up or move out of the way, and you have lots of flexibility, so you can plop your laptop on it, and then it comes with a little footstool down here. So it's a cool little piece of furniture, I think, at least. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it up like that, and then I want them centered on this glazing. So I'm going to take this midpoint as my mirror point. So I will mirror, and I'll select both of them, and then right there, I'll take that midpoint, plop it up. No, we don't want to erase them. And so there, now I have a little set of 4 Brody chairs. And then I'll just copy, CO, or copy. Try that again, CO, copy. And I'll just select all 4 of them. And, I could do the midpoint as my base point for the copy, but I'll just choose that point, whatever you want. So there, now we've got 8 Brody chairs sitting there. If it were me, I'd probably put a plant or something back here, or maybe, a long table here that I could put a piece of artwork or something on, but we'll just leave that open for now. All right, and then, so I think that covers the open office front. Oh no, it doesn't, because I've got some teleconferencing here. So let's go back here. And video conference group. And again, I will insert this right in here. So I'm going close to the wall, and I am just trying to, I don't need to center that. I'm trying to center it, between these 2 walls here, more or less like that. I think that's good. And then I've got a Circa lounge seat, and it's kind of like this semicircular seat. Again, a steel case product, Circa lounger, and I will just drag this baby in right there. And again, I'm eyeballing it, and I'm just putting it over here. Okay, good. And then I have, so over on here, I have another teleconferencing area here. So I've got a Circa lounge chair. So let me just bring that in while I'm on this. And then let me go back to my video conferencing. Right click and insert. And I'll just bring it in here and then insert it. And I just want to make sure that my O tracking is on. So I get it in the right direction. And I'll just move it into place here. And I'm kind of centering it on that wall more or less. All right, and now let's rotate this around. Let me get it a little closer here. So again, I'm just doing the eyeball method here. And what I'm looking at is, I'll show you in a moment. What I'm looking at is this line here. I kind of want perpendicular to this line or parallel to this line. And again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it because this seating arrangement here is actually 2 circle loungers. So let me move this down more or less like that. And then I'll mirror this. So I will just type MI for mirrors, the keyboard shortcut, and I'll just choose this endpoint here, and then I'll choose this endpoint here. No, I don't want to. There. And then I'll just move this back a little bit. I think I just want it back a little more. So I guess theoretically, you know, that you could actually be sitting on this lounge chair, right, and take part in this video conference session. So actually, that'd be kind of cool. All right, I think I've got the systems furniture done. Oh, I've just got some general lounge seating back here, and that is in that folder or in that office fixtures, I believe. I think. No, I don't think it's in there. This is the thing I kind of, you know, looking for this stuff. And oh, here, I know it. It's in this Project 10 furniture blocks, I think. Yes, there it is. So I've got this sofa 93, the 93-inch long sofa, and I will place that. Oh, you know what? Let me undo that. Let me right click and insert it. That way I can rotate it. There we go. And I want to put a little coffee table here, and that coffee table is going to be 24 by 48. So I'll do a rectangle here, and I'll just do 48 inches long, tab 24. There we go. And then I'll just rotate this. Again. There we go. And I'm going to move it so that the midpoint is right on the midpoint of my sofa, because I want it centered. And then I'll move it down some distance. You know, you can eyeball it, or I'm going to say 18 inches. Let's just see. And then I want another sofa facing this way. So what I'll do is I'll mirror it. And I'll just choose that midpoint of the coffee table to the midpoint of the coffee table. There we go. And it's sitting on an area rug, a 10 by 14 area rug. So again, I can just use the rectangle tool here. And it is 10 feet long, tab, 14 feet long, wide, or in the other direction. There we go. And I'll just rotate this also, snap it to my polar tracking, and move it so that it kind of fits nicely there. And I'm gonna move this whole arrangement a little closer to the column. Obviously, I don't want it on the column. And then I'll just copy it. And I got my polar tracking on, and I will just pull that down. Yeah, pretty happy. Well, I'm almost happy. I'm just gonna move it all up a little bit. I just want enough space here so people can get into the break room down here. So while we're talking about the break room, so let's look at the furniture there. So I have some seating, table seating here, and I've got a 4-foot table. So I'll just do a circle, 4-foot diameter. So that would be either a 2-foot radius, or I can click on diameter and do a 4-foot diameter, but I'm going to do a 2-foot radius. And we'll just bring in just this general chair here. I'm going to bring it in here. And I'm going to move that. Again, I just want everything to be nice and clean. So I'm moving it from that insertion point or the midpoint of the chair right to the polar, the quadrant of the circle. And then I'll move it straight up, 2 inches or about that distance, whatever that is. And then we'll just do we'll do an array, right? So we'll do a polar array. I'll select that. It's asking for the base point, which was the center of the circle. And we only want 4 chairs. So I'll go up here. I'll change that to 4. And now I need to do a little bit of rotating here. So I'm going to rotate this. The base point of the rotation will be the center of the table. And let's see, can I get 45 degrees? I can eyeball it, and that's what I'm going to do here. All right. And then I will just move this back a little more into the corner, and then just do some copying. So what have I got here? I'm just looking at my plan here. I've got one over here, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just copy these. More or less there. All right, and then I'll come back for the millwork in a little bit. So okay, so now I've got over here, I've got an erroneous wall. So let's just get rid of that. And I have some I've got some office or some training tables here. So this is going to be a 2x5 table. And let's see, do I have 2x5 tables here? Here it is, 2x5 table. So I'm going to right click and insert. And then I'll put it there. And I'm going to move it so that that corner is more or less close to that column. Maybe just a little bit closer. And then I'm just going to put some general chairs in here. Oops. I'll right click and insert. That way I can rotate. Plop that in here. And then I can copy it or mirror it. I think I'll mirror it. Or copy it, or whatever suits you. And then, so training tables in conference rooms are often ganged together, i.e. attached or clipped together underneath. And that's going to be the case in this instance. So we've got 3 tables ganged together. And then the distance between the rows is going to be 5 feet. So let's copy all of our 1 row and then I'm just going to go up along. I've got polar tracking on, and we're going to go 5 feet. And 5 more feet, so that would be 10 feet. So then we got 3 rows there, and I need 2 more rows. So I could do the same thing, but I'm just going to do it a different way, just so you can see. I'm going to grab these 2 rows, or you can just do 1 row, and I'll start at the corner of the table behind and just copy it to there. So there's our 5 rows of training tables. And then we've got a podium right here. And I'm just going to use the rectangle tool, not the rotate tool, the rectangle tool. And that podium is just 24 by 24. So 24 inches, tab 24. And it just has a little bit of a front edge to it that's just 2 inches back. So I'll just go with my line tool, and I'm just going to O-track down. There we go, 2 inches, and then go over. And maybe I'll just rotate this. Just doesn't have to be perpendicular, but just a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's move on. I've got a big conference table here. That's an 8-foot diameter conference table. So I'm just going to do a circle, 4-foot radius, or 8 feet. And then again, we'll just use the general chair here. Stuff we've done already. I'm just going to move this right to the quadrant and then move it back just a shtuckle, and I'm going to array this. And how many chairs do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 chairs in here. So let's put in 12. Beautiful. And while I'm at it, I've got another conference room. So I'm just going to copy this whole arrangement and plop it into that conference room, just so I don't have to draw it again. Gorgeous. And what else? So let's look at an office here. I'm not going to do all these offices, but I'll start with this one here. So we've got a credenza, and we'll do this 20 by 72 inch credenza here. So I'll right click and insert, and I'm going to just put it in the room, and then I will locate it after. And for these B size and C size offices, or the middle management offices, we're going to use a 60-inch desk. The big honcho here, she or he's is gonna have the big 36 by 75 desk, but for the other offices, we're just going to use the 30 by 60 desk. So I'm just going to insert that. And again, I'm going to move this so that the midpoint of that is just aligns with the midpoint of the credenza. And then I'm going to move it out. I'm going to move it out 4.5 feet, 4'6", maybe 4 feet. You could do 4 feet, I guess. And then and they need an executive chair. So I've got chair executive. Right click and insert. And then what I will do is put this again right at the midpoint and then move it back. And then I've got 2 guest chairs. So I will just put these general chairs here. You know what? Right click and insert, because I want to rotate. I'm used to just dragging them in, but that's why I don't always right click. And I'll just put that there, and then copy, CO, keyboard shortcut, And then I'm going to move this whole arrangement, not touching the wall, but the back of that credenza very, very close to the wall. Comme ça, just like that. All right. And then, so for the other middle manager offices, just you can do the same thing, really, right? Okay. So let's talk briefly about the president's desk here. So what the president has is a custom credenza back here. And that credenza, let me go to my line tool here. It's going to align with the face of these columns. So it's going to come across here aligned with that, and it's going to come across here aligned with that. And each of these is going to be 4 feet long. So we're going to go 4 feet. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go up. I want polar tracking on, obviously, and then 4 feet. And then I'm just going to connect the dots and attach them. So that is the that's the credenza. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to offset 48 inches, 4 feet out, and that's going to locate the desk. And then that person has the big 36 by 75 desk. So I'll just insert that, rotate it around. Oh, this is not rotating the way I want it, is it? Okay, that's fine. So I just plopped it in here. But let's move this. And actually, this is going to give me the opportunity to show you some rotating trickery here. So what I'm doing, I'm taking the center of the desk and I'm putting at the center of that guideline right there. Obviously, it's not rotated correctly. And you know what? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring in the executive chair at the same time, so I can rotate them both at the same time. So let me, I'll just pick that center point there and rotate it. And then I'm going to move this back, straight back, just a couple inches there. So now we want to rotate it so that this face of the desk, right, aligns with this guideline that we have here. So how do we do that? Well, let's go over to the rotate tool and select the desk and the chair while we're at it. And I'm done selecting, so I'll just hit my space bar or enter. And now it's asking for the base point. So we'll just choose this point right here where those two lines intersect, the guideline and the desk line here. So I'm just going to choose that point. And now I can just kind of go around and, well, I can't snap to that. It's still not working for me, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click reference. I don't think that we've talked about this, but this is a perfect opportunity to talk about this. So I'm going to click reference here. And it snaps back to what its original position is. And it's asking for the reference angle, which is this angle right here between these two lines. Well, I don't know what that angle is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this point. And then it's asking for the second point. So I'm just going to pick a point somewhere on this line. I can pick this endpoint here. And now I can rotate it down and snap to the endpoint of that guideline. And now I have rotated it exactly. I don't know what angle it was. If I never had to do any calculation, I just did that rotation kind of automatically. You want me to do it again? Okay. So that sets the head's desk there, and I've got a couple guest chairs here. So I'm going to pull this in, and again, I want to rotate. That, and then I will mirror this. Make sure that my polar track, well, I'll just go to the midpoint of there. And then what else? I have a little sofa over here, right here, this 60-inch small sofa here. So let's plop that into place. More or less. I'll turn my polar checking off for a moment. And I've got a little table here that is 36 inches in diameter. So I'll just do a circle. And if I want to do diameter, I just click diameter and then just type 36. And then there's a couple little these wing chairs here. Okay. So that's a little clumsy. I can make that a little neater, I think. But you get the idea. I'm sure you don't want to watch me placing furniture. And then so also in the president's office, he has some lateral files, some 36-inch laterals, which is just, I think this just says lateral file 3, and that probably means a 3 high, three drawer high lateral file. So I'm going to insert that. Turn my polar tracking back on. And I'll just move this close to the wall, not on it, but close to it. And I'll do some copying. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so now let's talk about the millwork, the built-in furniture. So what I want to do is I want to do that furniture on my furniture 2 layer. So I'm going to switch over to that. And in the break room over here, I've got some millwork that is going around. That is a lot of millwork. That's huge, but that's what we're showing. So that's what we're going to do. So millwork generally is either 24 or 25 inches. I'm going to show this as 25 inches. So what I'm going to do is, what I could do is draw out 25 and then down and come across this way, but I'm going to offset. So I will offset 25 inches. I'll come across here and here, and then I'll just fillet these. And then I'll just draw a line from here that goes back. And then over here, I need to put a refrigerator in here. So let's look. I think I've got a refrigerators. Here we go again. I think in this office fixtures. Yeah, there it is. So let me just insert that, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. And then tuck that nicely in the corner here. Now, if I were, if I were elevating these, doing an elevation of this millwork, I would make sure, I would figure out, are these 42-inch cabinets or 48 inches and copy over. I'm not going to do that for this exercise. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this wall, this millwork back some distance, and then just come back here. And then I'm just going to go to my match properties over here. And I want to make sure that all of this line work is on the proper layer, right? So it's all millwork. So there we've got our huge amount of millwork in there. And then, so let's move over. So over in the conference area here, we've got a talk wall or a media wall. And the media walls are usually about 6 inches thick. So I'm going to offset 6 inches like that. And then I'm going to, I've got another piece of millwork here. And what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to align the depth of the millwork with this column corner. Now, normally what I would do normally is I would box this column out so that it was perpendicular to this wall and then butt the millwork against it. But that's not what this drawing is showing. So I'm just going to do a line here right from that endpoint. And I'm just going to go perpendicular to that talk wall or the media wall there. And you know what, while I'm at it, let's just change that media wall. So a media wall, sometimes it's got a TV built into it, or it has sliding panels, for like either cork boards or whiteboards. And, there's a lot of flexibility with it, or sometimes they open out. So that's just kind of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this media wall. And then that millwork just kind of comes out a little bit past the column on this side. I'm not too concerned with how far it's coming out, but that's the way it's showing on this drawing. So that is what I'm going to show on this diagram. And then back in here, I've got another piece of millwork. So I will come down with my line tool, and I'm just going to align with the window jamb here, and I'm going to come across, and that is actually going to be, I don't know, 18 feet. Let's see what I say. 18. Actually, 18 feet is pretty good. It's just perfect. And then over on the other side, I just have this is just going to be 18 inches over on this side. Although it's showing it aligning with that, but I think that that's just too tight. So let's just see, offset 18 inches, see what that gets me. Well, it's pretty darn close. So I'm going to say 18 inches. Of course, I'm going to put it back on the right layer, and then I will trim this out here. And let's see, in the conference room here, I have a really long credenza back here. And that's to set up lunches and the place to store paper or binders or all kinds of stuff in it. There might be a TV or some kind of media panel up on the wall there. So that's what I've got there. And you know what? This built-in credenza in the president's office, let's put that also on the millwork layer or the furniture 2 layer. So I'm going to match properties for that. And what else have I got? So I've got in my closets, on the diagram, it's showing little hangers and the double line. You don't need to do that. All you need to do is right from the midpoint, just come across, and that will represent the hat shelf. And I'll do the same thing over here. That's going to be perfectly lovely. And I've got over here, I've got some millwork working around. So let's think about, the millwork is going to be 25 inches off around. So let's just offset 25. And I'm just going to come around on these three sides, 25 inches. And so let's think about this door here. I just want to be cognizant of ADA here. So we are on the push side of the door, right? When you're standing on this side and you're going into this room, you're pushing the door open. If you're on this side, you're pulling the door open. So we're on the push side. So what we need is from that door jamb, we need 12 inches of clear space. So let's start our millwork 12 inches from that point. So I'm just going to hover over here and I've got O tracking turned on. I'm going to come down 12 inches. Oops, O tracking didn't work for me. 12 inches, there it is. And I'll just go perpendicular to that line that I offset. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to draw a line straight across here, and that's going to be for the end of the millwork there. So I'm just going to do some filleting here. I can catch those lines. Yeah, that looks really good. Let's do match properties, because I want all of my millwork to be on that furniture 2 layer. And so in this room this is just sort of a storeroom, right? An inactive storage room, and it's going to have 18-inch deep shelves running all the way around. So I will start by offsetting 18 inches, and I'm just going to come around. And so let's just draw a line from this point there that comes all the way around 18 inches. And I think just to make things nice and neat, I'm going to go over here and draw that. So what I did was I aligned this edge of the millwork. Let me do some filleting here just to make it more clear. So I'm putting this line, this edge of the shelving just in line with this, so that we just have this nice rectangular space here. And I'll do some match properties. Beautiful. And I think that is good, except for our lovely reception desk. And we're going to take a closer look at the reception desk later on. We're going to do an isometric or an axonometric of the reception desk. But for today, we just want to show it in plan. So I'm going to just kind of outline it here in plan for you all. And so I'll start. I'm just going to O track. I'm using my O tracking here. And if it's not working for you, and mine is not, so what I'm going to do, plan B, I'm going to offset. So I will offset 36.
Is it normal for the O tracking to not work at that angle? Because mine typically works really well, just not at that angle.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's just it's really touchy, and yes, I'm having the same problem, so that's why I'm doing some offsetting. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So what this line represents is just an aisle here. 36 inches. This is 36 inches I offset, just to get an aisle so that whoever the receptionist, he can, or she can get back in here. All right. So let's just draw the reception desk proper here. So I'm going to go with my line tool, and I'll start right at this intersection. And now I can use my O tracking, and I'm going to come down 5 feet. So that's going to be 5 feet. And then I'm going to go up perpendicular to it in this direction, again, with my O tracking, 12.5 feet. So 12'6". There we go. And then I'm going to come back 3 feet in this direction, 36 inches. And now I'm going to offset. So I will offset again 3 feet. That way and that way. And while I'm doing offsetting, I've got a transaction top here that's gonna run around. We'll get this circle here. Oh, you know what? Let's do the circle now. So let me do some filleting. First, I'll fillet this and that, and that's all filleted nice. The only thing wonky here is that this is on the wrong layer. So I'll just use my match properties. And now let's get in this this curved piece here, and that is going to be 36-inch radius curve. So again, I think we talked about filleting a curve, but if we haven't, this is a good opportunity. So I'm going to go back to fillet. And right now, my fillet radius is 0 because I get nice, sharp, crisp corners here. But if I want a radius, I'll just come down here in my command line here. There is the option for radius. Or I could type the letter R if I wanted, but I will just click on radius here. And AutoCAD is asking me, okay, what radius do you want? And I want a 3-foot radius for 36 inches. So I'm just going to type 36 and hit enter. And now I will fillet that. And now I have a nice curve on my reception desk. So the last thing that I want to do is get a transaction top here. And transaction tops usually are 12 inches. So I'm going to offset 12 inches here, right there. And I'll offset that curve, and that offset nicely. It changed the radius of that, and offset that, and there it is. Beautiful. The last thing that I need to do is give that person a chair. And I'm just looking if I have any chairs here that I can reuse. You know, what the heck. Again, I can just insert it, but I'm gonna copy that chair and then rotate it. Either way is perfectly fine. So here's a question. Does this chair belong on the furniture 1 layer, or does it belong on the furniture 2 layer? Somebody tell me.
Furniture 1, because it's movable.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Furniture 1, because it is furniture. And our furniture 2 layer is actually millwork, and it is set in place. Absolutely correct. Good job. So there is our reception desk. Is there anything else that I have missed? I think back in here, I do have a credenza. So let me just go in, and that's just going to go, it'll just be a custom credenza that fits in between those 2 columns. So it looks nice and neat. And maybe we even have a soffit underneath it, or above it, not underneath it. That would be underneath the soffit. And I think there's a couple plants that you want to plop in here. And I think there's a ficus tree that should go right here. So let me plop that in. And I don't think that that's showing. Oh, you know what? Well, I've got this open. So I'm in my office fixtures here. I see there's a copy machine here. And we do have a copy machine right in this area. So let me drag that in. Oops, it went right to the. Okay, so the problem with this copy machine is it's at the wrong scale. And you can just see, I mean, that copy machine is woefully small, particularly for an office like this. So let's just scale it up and make it twice as big. So I'm going to go to scale, select the object, hit my space bar or enter key, select the base point, and I'll just pick this corner here. And what do I want to scale it to? I'm just going to make it 2 times. So I'll just type 2 and then enter. There we go. And what was I doing? Oh, a ficus tree. So that is back in our regular blocks. So let me go back here in my 2D blocks over at accessories and plants. There it is, ficus tree. And I'll just drag that in. Wait, that goes, let's see here. That goes in that. That's going to go back here, I think. So that seems a little woefully small too, but I'll just leave it as that. And this obviously is not millwork, or it's not built in. We could build in a planter if we really wanted, but I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on my regular furniture. And
I'm not seeing that in there, Paul, but you do want it.
yeah, yes, I do. Because when
Okay.
we do the ceilings, like this is going to be an exposed ceiling back here, and it's just going to kind of fit in there nicely. So yeah.
And then one against the back wall too. So that's the same. Or like the,
Oh, yeah. So I think there's 1 or 2 in some offices. If you want to put one in the conference room, that's perfectly fine. Use your discretion. And that, folks, is really it. So the main thing is we're bringing in furniture, we're rotating it on the right angle, we're bringing in millwork, making sure that the millwork is on the proper layers, and that's it. Again, I did not locate these exactly, any of this furniture. I'm just bringing it close to columns, and I'm trying to visually make aisles equal, like I did here. Same with this group here. I tried to get aisles more or less equal over here, and getting it looking good for your client. So then you'll go back to your furniture plan, make sure that your title block is filled, which we already did. Make sure that on your partition plan and on your building shell plan that your furniture is turned off. And look at this. We're seeing, and actually this is on the wrong layer right here. Let me go back to model space and change that. I want to put that copy machine on my furniture. Really, there should be an appliances or fixtures layer, but we don't have it on ours, and we're not going to worry about it for this project. So we're just going to put it on our movable furniture layer, our furniture 1. So back in our base building plan, I do see the millwork here, and obviously we don't want to see that. So I'm going to double click. So I'm in white model space, and then I can either use that freeze button, which I used before, or if you prefer, go drop down here and then freeze in the current viewport. I'll click on that, then click off it, and it's frozen. And I'll go back into paper space, go back into this one, and actually, okay, so the walls are built by our contractor, right? And the millwork actually will be built by our contractor. So in our partition plan, it is perfectly acceptable to have that millwork on this plan. That would be absolutely correct to have that there. So we don't have furniture or millwork on our on our building shell. This is the existing conditions, right? So none of that is there. On the partition plan, we don't have the furniture, the movable furniture or systems furniture, but we do have the other millwork or the millwork or the furniture too. And then in our furniture plan, we're showing it all. And that, I think, is going to turn out just amazing. Oh, you know what I got? I do have a little seating arrangement over here, don't I? Do I? Thought I did. Oh, I've got a, you know what? I do have a little seating arrangement over here. I'm not going to plop that in, but you'll see it over here. And oh yes, I do have a little two-seater arrangement here. And that is, let me just bring it up here. So this two-seat lounge group is right here, and that is a block. I just didn't put it in. And then there's a 4 lounge conference group right here. So the 4 lounge conference group is right here on the plan, and the little 2-seater lounge is right here, just kind of in line with these over here. So you'll plop those in. I'm sorry, I didn't pop them in. I don't think I need to. Oh, and then there's some file cabinets over here. So you want to add those too.
Hey, Paul, the hangers in the closet, are those just lines on the furniture layer?
Yeah.
Or is that like a block?
No, those are just lines, and you don't really need to put them in. But I'll tell you, sometimes I actually do put them in mine. I just, you can or not. So what I'll do is I'll just make a line that is, I don't know, 1.5 inches or 1.5 feet or some amount, and I will, let me put it on the right layer. Well, I would put it on, even though it's a hanger and it's not movable. What it's telling the contractor or whoever's looking at this, that's those are hangers. And then I would just rotate. I'll just rotate this just right at that midpoint, some amount, and then I'll just copy a couple of them over. And then I'll just rotate these. And I generally won't fill the whole thing. I just kind of start it, just on one side. It's a little more filled on your drawing, but I just kind of plop them in, and then that's enough to tell the contractor or your client that that's hangers in there. But really, if you don't want to add those, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to. I'm not going to require you to.